Alec Epis started his contribution to Essendon almost 60 years ago. He's a dual premiership player, a long-serving committee man, mentored to dozens of players, and the most talkative bomber in history. Welcome, Alec, or should I say, buongiorno, Alessandro.
Buongiorno, Michele. Come va?
Nice to see you. You look well for 77.
Thank you. I'm not there yet.
I knew you'd tumble into
You
that.
might be, but I'm not.
No, I'm not there. Been a great journey all the way from the minefields of Western Australia, Boulder and not Kalgoorlie. Why the distinction?
Well, Boulder doesn't get much credibility for any things that they've done. The airport's in Boulder, but they call it the Kalgoorlie Airport. And I got a great love of my town, and anytime I can give it a bit of publicity, I'm happy to do it.
Was your dad and your mum emigrated from Italy?
Yes, that's right.
Were they gold diggers? Were they,
his father had been out here, and his father was.
Yeah.
And Dad continued on from that. And that's how... you found that a lot of the Italians and a lot of the Yugoslavs who lived in Boulder became prospectors, went out of the bush, you know, the lure of the gold.
And when you found some, how did you protect it?
The battery where the ore was crushed was a 24-hour battery. This had six, used to be called a six-head battery, but it had six big steel pipes that would crush the ore. And then the water would come and push all the gold out to the front of it into a big long dish in the front. And there was a plate. And you used to keep putting this stuff called amalgam, and that would catch all the gold. Now, what happens when you're not there? People would come and just scrape it off. And as it was a 24-hour thing, Dad used to have a couple of hours sleep, and I'd guard it. So as nobody had pinched it. So when I came home from school holidays, Dad would have a target practice because he had a licence for a revolver. And I'd have target practice at shooting somebody in the knee. And I missed a few for a start, but I wasn't bad in the end.
So there was a protection on the post, and that was equivalent to the human knee?
Yes, there was a tin on the post, and that was the knee. So when Dad went to sleep, I had the gun. And I would have shot you if you had to come and tried to pinch it. There's no question.
I wouldn't have done that, Cooker.
No, I know.
Did you ever have any cause to shoot at anyone?
We go to town in this truck with the gold, right? I had to hold the shotgun, and Dad had the automatic, just handy. And we went through this cattle run this day, and as soon as we went through the cattle run, we went around a bend, and two cars came out. And the old man just put the foot down, grabbed the gun, and they had a shot, and the shot went through the roof. He pushed me down. He's had a couple of shots at him, and we just went right through these trucks, and we went to town. Amazing, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Yes, I mean,
actually.
it's just incredible.
Just to steal the gold, yeah?
Yeah, pinch our gold, yeah.
That's probably the only time in your life that you were speechless, was it?
I was, and frightened.
No, you might have been frightened more often than once.
I was as frightened as almost speechless.
Hey, Cooker, I mean, that's the name that everyone at Essendon gives you because you were so talkative.
Yeah.
How did a kid from the minefields of Western Australia find his way to Essendon as a teenager?
Well, what happened... we were living out in the bush and there was no secondary schooling, and Mum said I was getting too smart for my own good. I could drive a ute at 11, you know, and I used to go out shooting on my own, and she said, you're going to the Morris brothers at Norcia. And all the Morris brothers were all Victorians. And then I found out that I could play sport. I found out it was just amazing. Dad never played any sport, Mum never played any sport, but every sport I took up I was good at.
My understanding was that you'd expressed some interest to someone from Collingwood when they went to
WA that was another story. When I came home, I was playing for our team, Mines Rovers in Boulder, and I'd won the best and fairest and all that sort of stuff. And Perth had invited me, Perth Football Club, to Perth to watch a game. They were playing Collingwood. A Collingwood
practice game.
It was a game, yes, a practice game. So they invited me down, I went down, and then I just walked into the rooms and I just asked a couple of Collingwood people, I said, I come from up in Boulder and I'm down here as a guest at Perth. Do you think if I came to Melbourne I could have a run with you? And they just gave me the flesh.
So where did Essendon see you?
There was a bank manager called Alec Haig and another fellow in Kalgoorlie, Vince Annie, who'd played football with Swan Districts, and he was a very good player. He was a local, but then he came back and they both wrote to Essendon to talk about me.
And they invited you over?
Well, it took 6 weeks to get back to me, and I said, well, Footscray then contacted me, and Mum said, no, you've got to do the right thing. Essendon's written to you. She said, I'll give you 1 more week, and then you have to go to Footscray.
Wow.
I said, all right. And that week I got the letter back and they invited me over to come over. Sight unseen.
Yep.
And told me to catch a train, second class. Second class. And they
not
told
anymore,
me,
Cooker, not anymore second class.
No, I own the railways now. and then they told me that they'd meet me near the man in grey. They were all bloody grey. I don't know who was going to meet
Was that
me.
at Spencer Street, was
it?
Yes. Yeah. You came over here and then couldn't get a clearance for 2 years,
2
correct?
years.
So the Bombers said, we're happy to
Yeah, I
stick
did the
with it.
pre-season training with
Yep.
them and all that, yeah, and they must have seen something about me that was good. The only thing that worried me was that they might send me home.
Yeah, well, I mean, but particularly when they couldn't use you for 2 years.
Yes.
Who was blocking your clearance? Was it Perth or was it your junior
It was the
club?
West Australian Football League, and they didn't want any promising kids to come over here to play because, you know, the animosity between Victoria and West Australia was enormous in my era, you know. But I was just overawed by the AFL. I thought, God, what if I'd be so lucky if I could do that, you know? And so they blocked me on that basis. So I stood out for 2 years.
And you couldn't play anywhere? All you did was train?
Well, I was playing with Miller's Rope Works in Brunswick.
Yep.
And I was Bill Doody.
That was your nom de plume,
That was
it?
my name.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you knew about that competition, but it was a tough competition.
Is that the firemen and all those?
Yes, and all the ex-AFL players, and they'd play in open grounds, no fences around it, and everybody'd be drinking, and they'd bet like mad. And if a fight started, they're all into it. So I remember there was Wayne Harms's dad. He told me this before the game. He said, "Now listen, son, there could be a couple of fights going on here today. Now, if a fight starts, you stand behind me, and anybody that gets past you, just ping him." And I said, "Please, Mr. Harms, don't let anybody get past you."
So finally, 1958, your
I got my
AFL,
clearance.
your AFL career starts. Now you play 180 games.
Yes.
2 premierships for the Bombers and
Yes.
4 grand finals.
That's
It was a
right.
pretty good career.
Yeah, it was good, but I was in a good side too, Mike. I mean, you know, if you're in a good side, you can always be about another 10 or 20% better player.
Well, I do remember, that famous half-back line of Epis,
Davis.
Bluey Shelton and Barry Davis
That's
on the
right.
other side. You would have played, I reckon, 100 games together, would you not?
Oh, yeah, at least.
Yeah. Lots of intrigue about your career. I remember you as a kid. I remember you barrel-chested, lots of front, would take a mark and hold the ball up in the air. And you were cocky, weren't you? You were so bouncy about... that story, tell me the story whether it's fact or fiction that you were playing Collingwood one day at Victoria Park and you took a dummy out to Des Tuddenham. Is that story true?
Well, I did. What happened, I'd got to know the Collingwood cheer squad because every time we played Collingwood over there, Tuddy and I would have a bit of fisticuffs, you know. So for the birthday, and they gave me this beautiful box with beautiful ribbon on it.
You're on the ground in your gear?
No, I was coming into the ground.
Okay,
and they met me near the gate, you know, and said, "Oh, there." I said, "Oh, that's fantastic." And I got a bit emotional, Mike, about that, you know. I mean, it was something that nobody had ever done for, especially the opposition. Anyway, I took it inside and I opened it up and I was very careful. And I opened it up, another box, I opened that box, another box. God, there's no bloody present in here. And down the bottom in a little bit of cardboard pinned down was a dummy. and they said, "Here, crybaby, suck this all day because you won't get a kick." So I thought, I'll give that to Tuddy, that'll really fire him up.
So you took it out in your hand?
Well, I took it out and we used to shake hands before the game.
Yep.
And I shook his hand. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "What's that?" I said, "It's for you, brother." I said, "You stop your crying all day." I said, "It's a baby's dummy." So he then went and took it over to the umpires. Did he? Yes.
So you played in the 1968 grand final.
Yes.
Which Carlton won by 5 points, I think.
Yes, and they were the best side.
And you were in the best 3 for Essendon.
Yes.
In your 180th game and never played again.
That's right.
What happened?
Well, I was 31 and I thought I was starting to slow down a bit. And I thought there'd be a few blokes wanting to square off with me here. And and I'd seen some players that had played in our club too long. They played that extra year, then the club had dropped them, then the animosity would creep in. You should have played me, you didn't. And I didn't want to be one of those players that was like that because the club had been really good to me. And so I decided that I'd retire. So I went and saw, on the Monday, as I said, I was in the 3 best players on the day. I was on Jezza.
Yep.
On the Monday, I went and saw the club. And I thought, I might play another year. Like, maybe I haven't lost it, you know. So I went in, Bill Cookson was the secretary. I said, "Good morning." "Oh, Alec, lovely to see you. Well done yesterday, fantastic." And I thought, I'm in here. This is all right. I said, I'm thinking of retiring, Bill." He said, "Oh, good." He said, "I'm just writing you a letter thanking you for your services." And I said, oh, thanks, Bill.
Okay, then.
Thanks very much, yes. He said, "Here's the letter."
3 coaches. Jack Clark was your last one.
Yes.
Dick Reynolds was your first.
Yes.
And the great John Coleman in the middle.
Yes.
Didn't you take a swing at him?
Yeah, but that was his fault.
Was it?
Yeah.
The legendary John... he wasn't a legend then, but he was a huge name. He's coaching the Bombers, you're a player, and you tried to whack him.
No, but what happened was we went to the West to play a game. It was in between the season. And we called into Kalgoorlie, Boulder, to see my parents. My mum had a big barbecue. And some people asked Coleman, "Oh, how's Alec going?" You know. He said, "Oh, he's not as good as he thinks he is." Well, the next day in the paper, Alec Epis slipping, not as good as he thinks he is. Oh, my mother would have punched his head in. So I said to him in Perth, "You shouldn't have said that." He goes, "Why not?" I said, "Because," I said, "you've embarrassed my mother." I said, "I ought to belt you in the mouth." And he said, "Well," he said, "when do you want to do it?" I said, "When we get back to the club." He said, "That'll do, I'll be waiting for you." So we're out in the ground, and I said, "I haven't forgotten."
This is back in Melbourne?
Back in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I said, "I haven't forgotten." He said, "Nor have I." I said, "Well, where is it, here or inside?" He said, "A few people here, inside." I said, "OK." So he said, "I'll be in 5 minutes." I said, "I'll be waiting for you." So he came in, and we started to argue, and we started to grapple, you know, because he was a good fighter.
In the dressing room?
Yeah. He had a hotel.
Yeah.
And he was good at whacking blokes. I was just a mug fighter, you know. So we've broken the wrestle, and there's my chance. I've thrown one, and he's just gone like that. And the club doctor, Ian Zimmerman, my mate, I said, "I've hit him right in the snout, knocked him out and broke his glasses."
Really?
And he's out on the ground like that.
Let's recap here. So this is the great John Coleman,
Yes.
the coach of the Bombers. You're a player. You take a ping at him and knock the club doctor over.
Yeah.
Must have been front page news in the Sun.
Well, no,
wasn't it?
there was a few reporters, and the club said, I remember them saying, "You write this and you'll never get in this room again."
As I understand it, he was obviously clearly a brilliant footballer, but headstrong too as a coach, wasn't he? And just
Look, he would have been a good coach in today's game. He was a man's man, and he could tell you off, and the next minute he'd be patting you on the shoulder, and he wouldn't talk down to you. He'd talk to you, you know. And he's probably like Rouge. I think Rouge is like that, and so is Hinkley like that at Port Power.
any retribution after you took a...
No, none.
None?
We became good friends. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Were you more scared of John Coleman or your mother in terms of football?
Oh, my mother.
Yeah.
Oh, the mother.
What about
Oh,
the 65 grand final?
yeah, well, that was... Who told you that?
My research.
I'd had an altercation with a player, Darryl Baldock. And
You hit the dock, did you?
Oh, well, I had an altercation.
You whacked the dock?
Well, no, I didn't whack him. I ran into him.
Okay.
And so he went down, and then he got up and he kicked me. He back kicked me in the shin.
Yeah.
So I kicked him back. And I think it was Crouch who was the umpire.
Yeah.
And he said, "You do that again, I'll report you." I saw what happened.
So you kicked him in the leg?
Yeah. Anyway, he kicked me first. And then anyway, all the crowd was giving it to me, so I gave him the 2 fingers sign up, you know. I just walked around going, you know. So after the game, I go in the rooms, and this lady grabs me, and she starts hitting me, and, "You're a disgrace." It was my mother. She goes, "We sent you to Morris Brothers, and look at you. I'm embarrassed by you." I don't know what to say. I said, "But nobody knows you." She goes, "I know who I am." And the player said, "Get rid of that old Sheila that's grabbed you. Who let her in?" I said, "My mother."
65 preliminary final. Essendon are playing Collingwood.
Yes.
Your teammate, John Somerville.
Yes.
You look. I don't know what you were watching at the time, but it's brought to your attention that he's prostrate on the ground at half forward.
And he never fainted.
No, and Duncan Wright standing there, the
That's
Collingwood
right.
halfback, hands on hips, looking as guilty as sin. Do you remember the mindset and what that impact that had on you?
Well, I didn't play that game because I had a crook knee.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No, okay.
And so him getting injured enabled me to get in the side.
Is that right?
Yes, for the grand final.
So you mightn't have played had
No.
you not been hurt.
Well, no. And I remember going down to the hot sea baths, and Jack Dyer was down there.
Yeah.
And he goes, "How you going, son? Hey, are you going all right there?" I said, "Yeah, I'm right." He goes, "How's that bloody knee of yours?" I said, "Oh, I want to get it right for the grand final." He says, "You want to play in the grand final?" He goes, "Don't take any turns. Just keep running straight ahead and clean up anybody who's in the way."
What's your fondest memory from the 180 games? Everyone always says flags, but is there another moment in your career that...
It's just the friendship you make, and because you all go through a tumultuous time at football clubs. You get dropped, you don't get dropped, you play well, you play badly, and it's your mates who come around you and just support you, and you may not see those blokes for 2 or 3 years, but when you see them, Mike, it's like you saw them yesterday.
Yep. Your footy club has had some turmoil of recent times, as you're probably aware of, even though you're
I've read about it.
tucked away in your winery up at Wood End.
Read about it.
What do you think has happened to the place, and does it affect you emotionally? I mean, are you distressed by it?
I'd rather move on from that question. I'm not at the club anymore.
No, but you're an Essendon legend.
Yeah.
You're inducted into the Hall of Fame this
I know,
year.
you're trying to get me to say something.
It's your footy club.
Oh, it is.
Is there a level of distress?
Look, all clubs go a period of time when things happen, and if you're not there, I don't think you should comment on it myself.
After the break, Cooker, you and Kevin Sheedy. When you mentored players, Cooker, is it true that you were sort of almost like a specialist coach for them?
Yeah.
You would take them up to a local park, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And adjust their skills?
There was Glenn Manton, who was with us, then he went to Carlton, but Parko didn't mind me helping him, you know. So we used to go to a park down my place, I'd say for 8 years, every Wednesday morning, 7:30. Mance got there late one day, and I said, if you can't get here at 7:30, don't come. He was never late again. Fantastic person, absolute, one of the nicest people I've come across. And that goes, Lloydie, I always look at Lloydie's tapes, he'd always look at them at my place.
Yeah.
He would look at them at the club. And
Yeah.
I'd ring all these blokes, and I'd ring him during the week before the game, have a talk to him. And Scotty, I used to train him at the club. Scotty Lucas, another fantastic person.
Yeah. So Sheeds and the other coaches, what did they think of that?
They were quite happy about it. They knew exactly what I was doing. And I used to do a report. I'd give these players a report, you know, and I'd say to Sheeds, you want to look at it? He goes, no, I trust you. I know what you're doing. That's fine by me. So there was never any problems with that, with Sheeds and I, with me looking after the players.
There was a big problem with you and Sheeds, wasn't there? You were trying to get rid of him.
Look, Sheeds and I weren't bad friends, all right?
No, you were on the board, though, at the time, and he's the coach.
But he knew where I stood. He knew where I was coming from.
Did he know that you... And try to get rid of him is, in my view, an accurate description.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
I did. But he knew that.
You moved a motion at a committee meeting
That's
once
right.
to replace him as coach.
You know what happened? You know the story about that? We had about 5 past players on the board, and the move was to get rid of Sheeds, you see. So it was arranged that one person was going to move it, and I was going to second it.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's going to do it. So that motion was never moved, and so I moved the motion. Nobody supported me.
Yeah.
All these other players that were going to support me. Look, I have to be fair and say that Sheeds did make people aware of our club as well. He was out there promoting our club as well, and that was fantastic. I had no problem with that. I just felt as a coach you should be locked into the club, doing clinics, running tapes through with players, talking to them, you know, and I thought he wasn't doing it enough. But I'm on the board to do a job. That's how I felt. It was nothing personal.
It wasn't personal? So your relationship with Kevin as individuals was healthy enough, was it?
Yeah, and still is now.
Yeah.
Although, when she's finished, I've got to say, he's got 2 fantastic sisters who got me after the game and gave me the best spray I've ever had.
Did they?
It was a ripper.
When was this?
The Richmond game was his last game.
Yeah.
And I was there at the chairman's luncheon. This girl said to me, you, Alec, she said, can I have a talk to you? I said, yeah. Oh, she gave me a good cook, I tell you.
My understanding from the outside was that Graham McMahon was the president when the run on Kevin came, the run driven by you. Is that?
Yes.
That is right.
That's right.
So, and the motion was we should replace Kevin Sheedy as coach of Essendon.
That's right.
Wow. With anyone specifically in mind to replace him?
No.
No?
But Graham McMahon did say to me that he felt sorry for me because I was left
Holding the baby.
Holding the baby.
Yeah.
He did say that.
Did you feel, when that fell over, did you feel any compulsion or need, or did you think about leaving the board? Because it's a big call to take a coaching.
Well, no. Look, I got elected by the members to do a job. Now, even to this day, some probably people like me, some don't like me. But there was nothing ever in it for me, Mike.
No, I understand that.
Nothing in it for me. It's how I'm on the board. That's how I see it.
When Kevin first became aware, as he would have, that you were anti him in this context, did he front you about it?
No.
Did you and he ever sit down and talk about your opposite views?
No. That's probably something I should have done, I think.
Now we look back on it. We're both looking back on it. Massive contribution in terms of service and success.
Probably the most successful period of our time at the club was when he was there. And it could have been more successful. It could have been more successful.
Do you like the modern game?
I think I think the game's become a running game. I don't think it's become a football game. I think there's quite a few players who can't play footy, but they can run. And that's what it's about today.
Would a bloke with your character, and you're a man of genuine character, would he survive today?
Yes.
He would?
Because I had pace.
No, I'm not talking about in your ability, but in your ability to be yourself, to express yourself the way you did. Probably do a few things outside the team rules.
I don't think I'd survive on that basis, because I was a bit of a crowd person. I love the crowd, and you know, I mean, a couple of times we played Melbourne one day at Essendon, and I collided with somebody, I don't know, and they threw pies and a bottle of beer, and I picked them up and had a bite of the pie and drank the glass and threw it back.
Are you sure?
Coleman went mental.
Are you sure? You did. That's the truth, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
You ate a bit of the pie.
Yeah, and picked up the bottle and had a drink. Wow. And Coleman went spastic.
You can't say that.
Oh no,
Coleman wasn't happy.
He wasn't very happy.
How would you go playing under Bomber Thompson, do you reckon?
Oh, good.
Would you?
Because Bomber speaks as it is. Like, all you want, look, the players that I speak to, you know, they just tell them as it is. Don't go round about trying to dodge the issue. Just tell me, what do I have to do? And because they all want to play, so they'll go and do it. And they've got people there to help them now, Mike.
Okay.
When I was playing, right? I was a butcher. I used to work Friday mornings, 5 o'clock till 6 at night. Then Saturday, I'd work from 6 till 11:30 to get off an hour early. So I used to work through my lunch hour.
Yeah.
But it was all psychological.
And you'd have your footy gear at the shop and then just go straight from there?
Oh, no, I'd go home. Always had to have a rump steak.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, rump steak an hour before.
Yeah, like a rock.
Yeah.
And when Dick Reynolds was coach, he didn't want us to have a drink of water after Thursday night.
Wow.
That's a fact.
How'd the sports science blokes be with that?
Oh, that'd be mental.
Yeah. How did you feel wearing the big V against Western Australia?
Loved it.
Did you really?
I never forgave them for keeping me out of football for 2 years.
Wow.
That was a funny story. We played in Perth, and I got knocked. Half of Kalgoorlie came to Perth and Boulder to see me play on the Saturday. In those days, we played 2 games. And Bobby Davis was the coach. and I got knocked out on the Saturday, so I was the runner. On the Tuesday, we played 2 games. So we're playing there, and we're in front, and I'm saying, listen, Bobby, all these people are down here to see me. I want to run around the boundary with the VFL and all those buggers that kept me out of football. I want to show, take it easy, sonny. He goes, we're going easy here. And anyway, I said, come on. He said, all right, OK. Go out and ask Noel Teasdale how he's going and does he want to come off? Out I go. So I run up to Noel Teasdale. He takes off. So I run there to get him. Then he comes this way. Then he comes this way. In the end, I said, Teasy, you've got to stop. I'm buggered. You know, he said, what's the message? I said, I've forgotten. I've forgotten. So I run back to Bobby. He goes, what was the message, Bobby? He goes, you'll never get another job with me, I can tell you that.
Hey, Cooker, did anyone ever stitch you up? Really just take you apart?
As a player?
Yeah.
Yes. There was a bloke called Barry Wrist.
Collingwood?
Played about 40 games for Collingwood. He had a lot of tats and all that sort of thing.
He did.
And he came out to play on me, and I was in 60. I'd been in the state side and that, and I come back and he's playing on me, and I said, "You might as well run off, son." I said, "Do you know who you're playing on?" I said, "You won't get a bloody kick." I said, "You better swap flanks," because I said, "I'm hot at the moment." And he never said anything. He goes, "Oh, yeah." By quarter time, he kicked 4 goals. Who was off the ground? I was.
You were cocky, I remember that. If you didn't barrack for Essendon, you weren't particularly fond of Epis.
Well, I got on all right with the other supporters.
I suppose because you were colourful, weren't you? I
met people who said, because what used to happen when you played a home game, say it was Hawthorn or Melbourne, I used to stay back and go to they used to have a dance that night, you know, and I used to stop back and they'd say, "Oh, you're quite a nice person." You know?
Interesting you raised that issue. You've never been married, but...
Well, where are you going now, Mike? Where are you going now?
But you liked the girls, didn't you?
Well, what, do you like blokes?
Well, some of them. I like girls better.
Look, I never got married because I never got married.
Okay, don't sit forward and glare at me.
I just want you to understand that. You're inferring certain things before.
No,
No?
not at all.
All right, as long as you got it straight.
I have.
That's it.
Now, post-footy,
Yep.
you're a wine grower of some note. Vigneron.
As well.
Yep.
I started because I like wine, you know, being Italian. Dad used to get his wine up from the Swan Valley and I used to have to bottle it for him.
Yep.
It was number 1 and number 2 red. And in those days, I wouldn't put that wine in my tractor. Because Dad'd say, what you bloody think about the bloody wine? I said, she's a beauty one, Dad. He goes, oh, she's a beauty one, this one.
So you decided to make your own. The Epis label...
Epis.
The Epis label brings a pretty handsome price in the bottle shop, doesn't it?
Well, for tight asses like you, it is.
Been a fascinating life, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great
By
life.
any definition, you've had a great life.
I think so.
I'm not about to end it, but I'm just sort of saying that...
done a few things.
You've done a few things and a lot of variety there.
Yeah, that's right. You should never take it out for granted either, Mike. You know, you should never just think, well, that's it. Because you can always do something for somebody. You know, I used to say to the kids at the footy club when I'd be talking to them, I'd say, listen, do you realise how lucky you are? I mean, do you realise? I said, you know.
You're talking to the players,
Players, yeah. I'd say, do you realise how lucky you are? Like, your dad plays sport? No, he never played. Your mum never played sport. How come you're so lucky that you can play AFL?
Cooker?
Yeah.
I've got to be honest here. I wasn't that keen on Alec Epis, the player, but I did get to know you, and I must say, in all honesty, I've loved our friendship over a lot of years since your footy career, and it's always colourful, always entertaining, and it's great to see you, mate.
Thank you, Mike.